If you've ever felt like you're living someone else's life, performing a version of yourself that was built to keep other people comfortable, this episode is for you. Today we're talking about identity recoding, the divine feminine way. And when I say that, I mean all of it, the light and the dark, because you need both to become whole. So let's get into it. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Nikki. I'm an initiated high priestess, witch, psychic medium, and a spiritista. And I make content about divine feminine energy, spirituality, witchcraft, rituals, inner work, all the things. So if that interests you, definitely go ahead and subscribe. So most of us were never taught that our identity was something that we could choose. We were just kind of handed one from our parents, from our culture, from the wounds that we inherited, from the roles that we were put in before we even had language to question them. And identity recoding is essentially the practice of going back to the root, to the programs that were installed in you, and consciously deciding, does this still belong to me? Or did I just never question it? This isn't service level self-improvement. We're not adding more to who you already are. This is a full rewrite, a shedding, a becoming. And it is so necessary. And I want you to really sit with this quote for a second. The version of you that was built to survive is not the version of you that was built to thrive. So many of us are still running the survival codes, still shrinking to avoid conflict, still performing to earn love, still making ourselves smaller so that someone else feels bigger. That version of you did her job. She kept you safe when you didn't have any other tools. She deserves compassion, not contempt. But she is not who you are now, and she is not who you're becoming. It's time to recode. So when most people think about the divine feminine, this is what they picture: the light, the softness, the nurturing, the flow, the beauty, and it is so real and it's powerful. And the light feminine is the part of you that receives, that blooms, that trusts. She's your intuition. She's the part of you that knows before she knows. The part that allows, the part that opens. But here's what I need you to hear. The light feminine isn't about being passive. She's not about being nice or agreeable or easy to be around. She is a force. She's just a gentle one. And when a woman is truly embodied in her light, not performing it, actually living it, she moves through the world differently. She nurtures herself the way she always nurtured others. She leads with feeling, and she doesn't apologize for it. She heals the little girl inside of her, who learned that being soft meant being a target. She lets herself receive love, money, support, rest, without immediately feeling like she owes someone something for it. That last one. Receiving without guilt. That's the one so many of us are still working through. Because somewhere along the way we learned that needing was dangerous, that wanting was too much. And the light feminine says you are allowed to be filled, you are allowed to be given to. Now we get into the part most women were never given permission to access, the dark feminine. And let me be clear right now, dark does not mean evil, dark does not mean broken. In metaphysics and spiritual tradition, and the feminine archetypes that have existed for thousands of years, the dark feminine is the most powerful energy that a woman can embody. She is the part of you that commands a room without saying a word. She is the part that magnetizes, not by trying, but by being. She is the alchemist. She takes what hurt her and she transforms it into power. A lot of women are afraid of her because she doesn't perform, she doesn't shrink, and she doesn't explain herself. Shadow work is the core of dark feminine embodiment, and I know that phrase gets thrown around a lot, but what it actually means is this. The parts of you that you rejected, that you hid, that you were shamed for, they didn't disappear, they just went underground. They went dormant. But they still show up as a pattern that you can't seem to break. The relationship you keep recreating, the way you self-sabotage right before a breakthrough. And from a trauma-informed lens, that shadow isn't a flaw, it's a protector. It was doing what it needed to do to keep you safe when the world felt dangerous. Claiming your shadow means saying, I see you, I understand why you're here, and I'm ready to integrate you instead of fight you. That's when the real magnetism activates, when you stop running from yourself. And here's the thing that nobody told us. These two energies are not in opposition, light and dark. The light feminine flows, the dark feminine commands. You need both. You need the softness to receive and the power to protect what you've built. You need the openness to trust and the discernment to know who has earned it. You need the grace to move through life beautifully and the boundaries to make sure that life doesn't move through you. A fully recoded woman isn't all light or all dark. She is fluid. She moves between the two states consciously. She knows which energy a moment is calling for, and she leads from that place. And that integration, that's the work, and it starts with identity. So what does this actually look like in practice? Because this isn't just a concept, it's a process. And like most deep spiritual work, it moves in stages. The first thing is awareness. You have to be able to see the old identity clearly before you can release it. Who are you pretending to be? Whose voice is that in your head telling you to be smaller, to be quieter, to be less, or that you're not good enough? Second is deconstruction. You go to the root. Where did that program come from? If you can remember, if not, it's okay. What did you learn as a girl about what was safe and what wasn't? This is where the trauma-informed piece is so important, because we don't go here to re-traumatize. We go here to understand, to witness, to finally give that experience a context. Third, integration. This is where you choose, consciously. Who are you when you're not surviving? What does she believe? What does she allow? What does she refuse? When her nervous system is calm. And fourth, embodiment. Because knowing who she is isn't enough. You have to live as her. In small moments, every single day. That's when the recode happens. So before I get to the next steps, I want to pause here for a second, because some of you are still convincing yourselves that this isn't for you. And I have teachers that are 1,000 spiritual levels ahead of me, and they still have to do identity work. So if they still have to do it, we damn sure do, okay? But let me ask you something. Do you dim yourself to make other people comfortable? Do you catch yourself performing a version of yourself, saying what you think people want to hear? Being what the situation seems to require instead of just being you? Do you feel disconnected from your body, from your feminine energy, from your own desire, from your heart? Are you still over-explaining yourself? Are you still apologizing for taking up space? Have you ever thought, I know something is different about who I'm supposed to be, I can feel her, but I don't know how to get there? If you felt even one of those, this is not a coincidence that you're watching this video right now. That feeling you have, that's her. The woman that you're recoding into. She's already calling you forward. So here's where it gets fun and practical. Step 1, name the old identity. Get specific. Write down who you've been. Not in a self-critical way, but like a witness. The roles you've played, the masks you've worn, the agreements that you made unconsciously about who you had to be loved. Step 2, find the root program. Ask yourself, where did this come from? Because you weren't born people-pleasing. You weren't born afraid of your own power. Something taught you that it wasn't safe to be fooling yourself. And when you find that root, when you can see it clearly, it loses so much of its grip on you. Step 3, choose your new code. This is where the divine feminine framework comes in. Who is she? The woman that you're becoming. What energy does she embody? What does she stand for? What will she no longer tolerate? Write her into existence. And step 4, embody her daily. The recode doesn't happen in a single breakthrough moment, though those can happen too. It happens in how you speak, how you move, what you say yes to, what you finally say no to, the boundaries you set. It's cumulative, it's sacred, but it works. So if you've been watching this and you feel that pull, that knowing that it's time to transform, I want you to know that there are 2 resources I created specifically for this work, and they were built for exactly the woman who is watching this right now. The first is the Dark Feminine Workbook. This is a guided and in-depth workbook that takes you through the identity recoding process through shadow work. And it talks about 9 different goddesses, their story, their core teachings, and also 3 journal prompts for each, so that whatever you're going through in life, you have a goddess to help you. And it's the most thorough starting point that I offer, and you can get that at sirensnectar.com/transform. And then the second is the Dark Feminine Activation. This is an immersive experience. It's not a course, it's an activation, but it's designed to activate your feminine energy at a cellular level by helping you to implement boundaries, protect your energy, minimize energy leaks, and just ultimately take your power back. And if you're someone who learns through feeling, through experience, this Dark Feminine Activation is your entry point. And you can learn more about that at sirensnectar.com/power. I will put both links in the description. But the woman that you're becoming, she's not waiting for you to be ready. She's waiting for you to be willing. Okay? I will talk to y'all soon. I love you very much. Bye.